So, just let's get started. You are working on a film, right? Can you tell us how it is to work with Miss Carey?
Mariah was something that I like challenges. I like going against the grain. I like, why y'all laughing?
Is it like that?
Hey, I was gonna wear my Ghetto Film School shirt today. I don't know why.
Like that's an understatement.
Ghetto Film School in the house. When you think about challenges and when you think about filmmaking, you think about, for me, you think about, I have to put on my hat and I have to really remember what made me excited about the film that started my career, which was a film that no one wanted to do. And Hallie was an actress that that auteurs didn't take seriously. And my journey, she was certainly accepted into the film community, but had not been really accepted in the auteur sort of world. And so I was very excited about working with her because it was a mission to sort of, pop that, into that world. And so many years later, I find myself with Mariah, Mimi, and she's a joke in the world of auteur filmmaking, but yet I think she's quite a genius, and quite a genius. She's had her breakdowns, and anybody that's had a breakdown, something's there to work with as an actor. So, and she's a genius, and she's also a kind person, and she's aware of people sort of making fun of her. She's clearly aware of that, and she's clearly aware of her talent. And I thought that she was quite good in Wise Girls. I thought she was really good in that. I thought she was okay in Glitter. I didn't think she was like bad as everybody said. I thought the movie was sort of weak, but I thought that she was okay and she held her own. And I thought that this would be that I could have fun with her. And I am blown away by her honesty and her truth, her truth. She gave me her truth. And that's all you can ask for. Then the rest is on me.
Right. We talked about, early 80s, 90s. You were inspired. You did You talked about Mariah.
Well, after I did Monsters Ball, I was going to do a movie called Brokeback Mountain. And that was my second movie I was going to do. And I couldn't get it made because of the subject matter. And I was a little, I don't know. I wanted it made, but I just didn't have the fight anymore. I think that the Monsters Ball experience had really taken it out of me. You just don't have it in you. And so I decided to go and do a movie about a pedophile. But it won Cannes, Best Picture. I'm very excited. I was really excited that it won Cannes. And so you leave, and you don't have the bang, the power of the bang. I purposely stayed away from press because I felt that an oiled press machine was almost lethal to my truth. That I then had to become something. You know what I mean? What was that something? What was the African Americans needing? What were we needing at the time to succeed? And so I sort of diverted away from press with both Woodsman and with Monsters Ball, and because I was just seeking to just make movies, and was embarrassed about it.
That's what people love about you, is that you will pick up your bat and step up to the plate and let's go. This is what I'm swinging with today, and I'm going to hit a home run.
Well, I don't know I'm going to hit a home run. I'm just going to do something that I like at the end. So then I did a movie after Woodsman. So I didn't do Brokeback, and I was really sort of fucked up about that. I was like, damn, man. And I did Woodsman, and then I ran across a script called Shadowboxer that I loved, and I loved it. It was written by the same writers of Monsters Ball, and it was just so off. It was so strange. It was so unusual. And I felt that, if it were a French or Italian or German filmmaker, it would have been embraced by Hollywood as a tour de force. And I felt that, why not? But I think that America wasn't ready for that world, at least from an African American standpoint. Had I been any of my other friends, mentors of mine, filmmakers from Italy or whomever, might have had a different take on it, or been perceived differently. But I don't think that we are, as African Americans, entitled to think out of the box that radically as filmmakers, that we are to tell stories from an African American viewpoint, from a homeboy, or a Killer and the Bee, or something that the critics and that America identifies most with. That is something that African Americans can identify with. How dare you know about an interracial couple and put a splash of French into it, or have Vivienne Westwood, an acclaimed designer, come in from England to design your film and stuff. So I think that was just like, this nigga's crazy. And how can Helen Mirren be going down on Cuba Gooding? It was okay. It was okay. It was okay for Halle Berry to spread her legs for Billy Bob, but it wasn't quite good for the Queen, the Dame, to do the same for. But anyway,
But you know what though, man?
But I think it was a good thing for me.
Mind, I was thinking, I said, damn, man, how do you get them people to do that, man? I mean,
just tell them what time it is.
When I saw it, I was
tell them what time it is. Tell them what time it is. Just be honest with them. They love it. They love to be. They love the truth. And I think that what Helen loved and what they all love is that they're catered to, they're kowtowed to, and me, I tell them, hey y'all, I got some M&Ms and some. If you're lucky, on a good day, some pork rinds. Take your clothes off. The sun is setting. And I think that we all are in it. We all are in it. You're in it. I'm in it. We all are in it ultimately for the craft. I think that we all want to do something that is about the craft and really telling a story. And I think that these people get they get tons of money to go in and do that bullshit. But when you want to come in and do the real, then you come in and you roll up your sleeves and you work for Tootsie Rolls and a pack of Newports and you roll. And you know what I mean? And you do what your truth is. And I think that that's what Helen and Cuba and Macy and we had a good time. And we knew that the movie was a little off, and it was what it was. And I think that it was God telling me too that that everybody's not gonna like my shit, and that gave me the courage to continue on and to go deeper, to hire somebody that I know nobody's gonna like, and that's Mariah Carey. And, I don't care because everybody told me Halle Berry just run over somebody, don't ever hire her. She's box office poison, and I hired her. And and people forget that. That she was labeled as, when I hired her, as box office poison. She had just run over somebody and took off and left the scene, which is pretty wrong. And she was X'd on everybody's list. And so I'm for the underdog. I'm an underdog. I'm from the streets. I'm an underdog. So boom, you know what I mean? And I think that, and I don't hide it. I don't hide my sexuality. I don't hide who I am. I don't hide anything. It's an open book. I don't hide my drug addiction. I don't hide it from my kids. And I think that it speaks volume in all of my work. And at the end of the day, when they throw that dirt on a coffin, I can know that I died an honest man, and ain't shit out here that I ain't been able to project about myself that's therapeutic on screen.
Well, we don't want to put the dirt on the coffin just yet. We still got a lot more work to do.
Since Brokeback went on to, what it did, is there any way you can talk about how that happened and it affected you? Because I think a lot of us never really know how those things happen, just like with Monsters Ball. I mean, no one really knows about the whole, when Marlon Brando started, then Sean Penn and all that. And then the other thing is, you seem to be like where Christine Vachon in Killer Films was for a while. And so I guess in a way I'm really hoping that we'll continue to see your work, because unfortunately if you flip it to a black director like Charles Burnett, you know, how many people even know Charles Burnett? Yeah, I mean, so obviously we're working with Glass Shield, as we can pun his movie that he did. So is there any way you can address that so that the people in here know what we have to go up against,
yes,
please?
I think the difference between a Charles Burnett, who I love and I admire quite, you know, it's not about just, I think that uniqueness with what I bring is cinema with a gangsta hustler behind it, because we got something. Because you can tell your truth, but then you got to go out there and pimp your truth. And so it's a combination of both. It's about being a producer and then knowing how to work it and getting the right elements in your film to make it attractive to an audience. You know, with Monsters Ball, I went the gamut. I went from Puffy, who was at that time the height of hip-hop, to Billy Bob Thornton, who was just you know, all America, you know, to Halle Berry, who was lusted for but not really accepted, to Heath Ledger, who was on the cover of Vanity Fair and the It White Boy for the moment, to hitting home in America with TV with Peter Boyle, God rest his soul. So it's a combination of smart casting that, and the same thing for Woodsman with you know, Kevin Bacon, and then Eve, and then Mos Def, and then Benjamin Bratt, and just you have to understand from a producerial standpoint how to kick it and then make that, you know, that work with your creative. And I think that you know, each film has its own scenario, but I think that that you have to also, besides telling a story, you got to know how to pimp it. And I think that that's when, you know, pimp comes in.